We gather here tonight to bring women back to their rightful place.
The Testaments, a new Hulu original series from the executive producers of The Handmaid's Tale.
It's easier to accept a story than believe that the people around you are monsters.
The battle isn't over.
There comes a time when you have to take action, when you have to choose your own destiny.
Never quite as it seems.
Watch the new Hulu original series, The Testaments, streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus for bundle subscribers. Terms apply.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi!
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
You know why I hate news? News stories, newspapers, news, anything news. You know why? Because what they're really doing is they're giving you a label. They're just giving you a label. They don't tell you what anything means. Just giving you a label. It's like a very quick kind of a review. That's all it is. Yesterday was two stories I read. I'm going to tell you the second one later, obviously. But the first one I'm going to tell you, which absolutely positively was the most fascinating to me. And it is, there is so little that is spoken about it. It's not even funny. Rex Heuermann. This is the serial killer, dismemberer, who pled guilty. And what they do is they give you this, they give you the story, and they're on to their next one. They have to do it in a tight 1 minute. They have somebody standing maybe in front of a courthouse and they're pointing. They're pointing to something. You know, they love to point. And they'll show a lot of B-roll and they'll say, that was great. And they'll put that in their Emmy reel and they'll hope for the best. You know absolutely nothing about it. You know nothing about it. This is one of the most interesting cases. You can take all the UFO stories and all the Sasquatch and all that stuff, and this, that's paranormal. This is abnormal. This is as real as it gets. These are real walking and living monsters. Not Yeti, not Sasquatch, not some guy from, Uranus or whatever. No, this guy this is the monster. This is the monster. This is the most incredible story there is, bar none. It is the monster. And this is what people should be absolutely glued on and about and around. And yet, for some reason, I don't know why, it's just move on, next, move, next. Because we're in this kind of an assembly line. Remember that episode of Lucy, where she and Ethel were at that candy conveyor belt, remember, and Lucy was trying to eat? That's what the news is. It's horrible. Just horrible. I could spend an hour on that show, on that story. But you will never hear it unless somebody decides maybe they'll have a special. I don't know. Maybe have a special. And all these news people think they're so smart. They really do. I got to tell you something. They really do. They think they are so smart. And they have the opportunity of a lifetime to maybe present to people something which is so critical and so fascinating. And they don't do it. We have a lot of people here. This is my own individual take on this. Nobody else. I don't speak for anybody. I speak for me. This is just my own take. I never really got into these folks. Never understood it. Never was a journalist. Never got into it. Never understood what that meant. Journalism. What does that mean? And I saw it at different levels. TV and radio, obviously. And TV in particular, they take themselves so seriously. Oh my God! And if you really want to see it, look at news organizations. They think they are so cool. And every now and then you'll have these wonderful things. It's terrific and it's wonderful and I appreciate it. They have these different organizations and they're great. It's interesting. Inner Circle and they all, here in New York, and they all talk, aren't we great? Aren't we terrific? Yeah. What do people know? Do you teach anything? No. And you can't. And they will tell you, well, we really can't. That's okay. Go any place else. If you want to find out something, you have to go maybe something online. But this story was the most incredible one. I was just paralyzed by how fascinating this story is. This case sat in the shadows for years. Here in New York, a series of these disappearances of these non-entities, these nobodies, these women, prostitutes, and people like Mamdani and others, they want to make sex work legal. Hey! It's good, honest work. It is. You were basically walking out there with a target on your back. Now, granted, nobody's forcing them to do that. Well, one could argue maybe if there's a pimp or there's maybe an addiction or something. But they're walking out into the dark. They're taking calls from people. And this guy was just, I mean, you are walking into, you are a serial killer's dream. An escort service. And nobody cares about you. You're just nothing. All these women. So yesterday, this guy, Rex Heuermann, big gargantuan, big, bold, big, burly. He looks like a monster. He looks like it. Because that's what we love is the monster. The 62-year-old guy pled guilty. He was an architect from Massapequa Park. He worked in the city. Pleaded guilty to murdering 8 women. Oh, there's going to be more. Over a span of nearly 2 decades, from 93 to 2011. Isn't that something? Isn't that, it's just. And there were people whose names, if I just gave their names, Melissa Bartholomew, Megan Waterman, Amber Lynn Costello, Maureen Brainerd Barnes. Doesn't that sound hyphenated? It sounds very regal. Maureen Brainerd Barnes, Valerie Mack, Jessica Taylor, Sandra Castilla, and Karen Vergata. Gone. Expunged. Ablated. Expurgated. Bowdlerized from reality. Moved. Just gone. Amputated from reality. Gone. Many were young women working as sex workers. They were targeted, lured, and ultimately killed in a pattern that investigators now describe as controlled and deliberate. And there's all kinds of other stories about maybe other cops or people who might have been themselves corrupt. I'll let others delve into those allegations. But he lived in what appeared to be my favorite. This reminds me of the whole. This reminds me of the Eichmann case, the banality of evil. He lived in this ordinary life. Married, father of 2, worked in Manhattan, an architectural consultant, pretty well known. But behind that exterior, prosecutors are saying it was a system. Victims were contacted using burner phones. Meetings were arranged. They were restrained, often with belts or burlap, strangled. In some cases, families were later contacted using those same burner devices, prolonging the psychological damage, sometimes taunting. It's just dismembered, removed. And the break in the case came years later. This is so fantastic. A discarded pizza crust provided DNA that matched evidence recovered from a victim. And the burner phone records placed key communications near his home and office. Witness descriptions aligned with his physical appearance and vehicle. And digital searches revealed disturbing patterns, including interest in the investigation itself. A task force was formed in 2022, re-examined the case from the ground up. And in July of 2023, Heuermann was arrested near his Manhattan office. Now, with a guilty plea, he'll never get out. And we can talk about all kinds of things. So we can talk about the death penalty and whether that's appropriate or not. But this is the story that is the most compelling to me. It's about the monster among us. And what happened? What happened? He is a disease. He is a cancer.